And we are back. We've talked about the band Turnover, we talked about Holding Absence, and now let's talk about This Wild Life. So, for this band, we've got an acoustic rock duo from Long Beach, California, consisting of Kevin Jordan on vocals and guitar, and Anthony Del Grosso on guitar as well. Jordan and Del Grosso were originally pianists and drummers, respectively. As far as other genres, we've got emo, pop rock, and pop punk. But I think the genre acoustic rock perfectly describes this band and what they set out to accomplish. So, without further ado, we have so many songs and albums to get through. So, let's just dive in and see what we are working with. As always, we're going to go in chronological order just to see the progression of the band and see how the style stays the same and changes over time. So right off the bat, the opening EP from these guys is going to be in 2011, titled "Pop Shove It," and I was very close to hearting Lost Boys. It gets there, but overall, I don't have any hearts for this opening EP. But it does foreshadow what's to come. There's so much potential here. It's like a rookie season for a pro basketball player. You know, they're still getting in the groove of things, they're figuring things out, and next year is going to be a lot stronger. So, nothing too crazy here, but again, points to the future, and it's going to start getting really good here. Puppy Love, it's fine. It's a cute little song, but we're good. Everything's good there. And here is our first blood. It's already hearted, good to go. Take It Back, fantastic. This is probably unskippable for me. If it comes on randomly, I can't skip it. It's that good. It's one of my favorites out of all the songs. There's going to be a lot, but it's definitely one of my favorites. The guitar is so clean, the vocals, the lyrics, it checks every box. Take It Back. Then we have Loose Ends. This is a Real Friends cover, and I really enjoy what they do with this song. Covers are really tough because I usually always go for the original. It almost always wins, but some covers are good enough for me to put it above the original. I honestly have not heard the original of this song, but I do like this cover, so you'll have that. Then we have Falling Down, it's fine. It's definitely more generic than their other songs, so I think we will leave it there. And same thing with Heart Shaped Box, it's also fine. But it does make me want to listen to their other songs instead of actually listening to that one. Then we have Break Me, also fine, more generic as per usual. And then I Fall Apart is actually a Post Malone song that they're doing kind of an acoustic cover for, which is very fun and creative. I just think if I'm going to listen to I Fall Apart, I'll have to go over and check out Posty and see what he's up to. Um, so it's good. And then we have right here, we got You Changed Everything. It's more of a coffee shop song vibe to it. It's a happy little song, and I'm going to go ahead and add that to the roster. Very fun. 2019 there. Next up on the menu is we have Wicked Game. There's a ton of good songs from this album from different bands, but this one's fine. This one is passable. But as far as Coffee for Your Head, another fun little coffee shop song. And again, you got to keep in mind acoustic rock. So there's such a fun balance between the two genres, and this band does such a good job. So you have these really slow, fluttery songs, the acoustic guitar coming in, and then other ones are really fast paced, really pick up. They have a little bit of everything, and these two right here are really lean into that more coffee shop vibe, just kind of fun and fluttery and even more slow in nature. Then we've got a nice little Christmas special here. That's fine if it's the Christmas season, I might have to do a part-time heart there, but it's currently February right now, so we're fine. No Christmas, although it's more of a all year thing. Anyways, I digress. Another single here in 2022 is I'm Not Okay or I Promise. And this is originally My Chemical Romance. And the original is so good. It's really tough to compete with that. However, I do enjoy this one as well. I think they do a really good job. So I will give both of those a heart. No problem there. And then lastly, for the singles and EPs here, we have History, Kevin's version, which this is pretty fun because it's like a harder rock cover of their own song. And I really like the original History, but this one has enough different in it and a little bit of extra spice that I will also give a heart here, but I'll probably end up gushing about the original one in the album in just a second. So that does it for singles and EPs. Now let's dive into the meat. As you can see, there is a ton of albums albums here, and we're going to start with Heart Flip coming out in 2012. Here we got 8 songs on the lineup. So right out the gate here, Another Fight, Snakes and Rats, and Wrecker are all fine. They're just, again, more generic when compared to their body of work, their overall song list or discography, if you will. However, this is where we start giving out some hearts here, and we're looking pretty good to start things off. I already know which one is my favorite. A fun little overlap here is this one was on their first EP, and they kind of revamped it. The guitar comes in a lot clearer, the vocals are a lot crisper, and I really enjoy this one on this album. So we will absolutely take So Much Potential. My favorite one here in this first album is Pink Tie. It is just so heartfelt. I'm so invested into this song, the storyline. It's like his dad's leaving and he's singing about him and his mom being left alone. And it hits right where you want it to. So that's definitely my favorite one, but we've got to do a top 3 here. As we do, we've got to do a top 3 for the Heart Flip album out of these 5 songs. So Pink Tie is definitely going to be number 1, but what about 2 and 3? And I'm going to go ahead and lock in Waste of Time and Ripped Away. As Ripped Away has nice male and female vocals, we get a little back and forth there, a little back-to-back action. And then Waste of Time is just really fun and fast and catchy. So we will definitely take that. Making our way to the Clouded Deluxe Edition. This one's intriguing because you get the Clouded Atmosphere Edition as well as Deluxe. So there is a ton of overlap between these 2 albums. So let's go ahead and just break down what the Deluxe has to offer, and then we'll go ahead and see what they added in the Atmosphere Edition. So right off the bat, we've got Concrete, Over It, and then we've got Concrete again, live session, as well as the Sleepwalking live session. This is going to be a cover for a Bring Me the Horizon song, which again, the original is just so good. It's really tough to beat that, and it's not as good as their My Chemical Romance cover, so I'm just going to leave her there along with Concrete and Over It. I think, again, they're more generic compared to the rest, and as you're about to see, there's going to be some absolutely really good ones here. Some of my favorites from them is right here, right now, and we will get into more specifics as I heart all these. So as you can see, Roots and Branches actually has 2, and this one's a lot lighter and clearer to where this one's more gritty and heavier. Now they're both acoustic, but I think there is enough differences between the 2, and I really love the lyrics, so it kind of just gives me an excuse to have 2 hearts there, even though they are the exact same song. Just a little bit difference in how the guitar is played and how you hear it. So I will take that. But then we also have No More Bad Days, History, Better With You. They have some huge hitters here. Like, these are fantastic. We got 405, Don't Say, Looking Back. Now, what is going to be the top 3? What is going to be the top 3? And this is really tough, but I think 3 songs here really do step up to the plate, and that is going to be No More Bad Days. We've got History and Better With You. So I really like No More Bad Days, but I think that's a clear 3. And then History and Better With You is just tied for first for this album. They are both so strong. Again, the vocals, the music, the lyrics, the story that he's telling, and the way he's telling it is just perfect, and I really like both of those. Unskippable for me. If they come on, there's no way I can skip them. So that does it for the Clouded Deluxe Edition in 2014. Then we got the Atmosphere Edition in 2015, and as you can see, it's very similar to the last album. However, we do sneak in here, and we're going to go ahead and add 3. Not only do they add 3 to the album, I'm going to add 3 to my like songs, as they are all really strong. And since there's only 3, it's kind of cheating just to say, what's your top 3 of 3 songs, if you know what I'm saying. So I will pick my favorite of the 3 that are added to this edition, this new album, and it's going to be Alone With Me. It's just so clean. It's up there with Better With You and History. It's just a perfect segue, transition, sequel, if you will, from the previous album. And that brings us to arguably my least favorite album right here in 2016. It's not bad. It's just, as I keep saying, like, compared to their overall body of work, it's just, This Wildlife sets the bar so high for themselves. When they're not hitting that bar every single song, you can just feel it. It makes it more obvious. It's like a really good movie. Maybe like Back to the Future, the first and second one are really good. So the third one, it's not as good, and it's just more obvious. You can see what's wrong with it a little bit easier if that communicates. So Low Tides here, 2016. Like, this one's pretty straightforward. I really enjoy these first three: Hit the Reset, Pull Me Out, Breakdown, and then I also enjoy Just Yesterday. It's different enough to where I can get the heart in there, but as far as Let Go, Fade, Falling Down, Red Room, Change My Sheets, and Brick Wall, again, the golden disclaimer for this video is going to be they're just more generic in comparison to the rest of the album. They really are. So that really makes my job easier here, as I'm only going to have to shave off one of these for a potential top three. And the one leaving is going to be Just Yesterday. It's good and it's heartworthy, but it's not as good as these three. Now, if I had to pick my favorite, it's actually really tough since I think all three of these are pretty equal. Breakdown's more slow and sad, just the way you like it. Pull Me Out's just clean across the board. And I really like how it transitions into the chorus. And then for Hit the Reset, it's just groovy and somber at the same time, which is a fun mixture. So I will take that top three as we move into 2018 with Petaluma here. And we are back in the swing of things, as this album is going to start knocking some things out of the park. And let me just start divvying out these hearts absolutely here. And I think most of these are actually going to be hearted, and there's only going to be a couple that stay on the back burner. And whereas we got College Kids, we get Never Believe, and yeah, only two songs here don't make the cut, which is really strong. Just some quick disclaimers for each one here. Figure It Out is just fun and upbeat, and honestly, fun and upbeat is kind of the main selling point for this album, since Figure It Out, Head First, Positively Negative. We've got West Side as well. All of those 4 or 5 songs are all very upbeat, to where we have like Hold You here and Never Believe are more slow and more fluttery as far as his notes go. And then Katie Ray is just a beautiful short song. It's only 2 minutes, but I really enjoy that. West Side also has a chorus that just keeps ramping up. College Kids has an amazing opening that really sets the tone for the rest of the song. And yeah, Come Back Down is like one of the only songs in their discography that kind of gives me a headache. I don't know if there's just too many instruments going on, but it just kind of gives me a headache. And then No Need for Novocaine's fine. It's fine. So as far as a top three goes, I think Katie Ray just takes the cake for me. It's just so crisp, so beautiful. I love listening to this song. As far as a 2 and 3, we're gonna get College Kids in there, and then West Side. So really strong album here, and let's see if the final album, Ever Blossom, in 2021 can live up to that hype. I just love looking at the entire discography and see like how strong each album is and how it carries over. So starting in 2012 and then 2014 and then just branching up 2016, you can just see like how strong they are across the board. And it's some bands, it really is like they're very top heavy, like maybe their first 2 albums. A little bit of a spoiler, I have no idea when I'm going to do this, but You Me at 6, I think, has like the first 2 3 albums are so stacked, and then anything past that point I really don't care for it. I don't know if things change too much or if the quality just decreased or it's just not my thing. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is I just love it when you can go from their first to the 4th or 5th final album and it's just the same band, but there's enough different in each album that keeps it fresh and exciting while still being that same band. So I think that's so hard to do, especially over, this is almost a decade. This is gonna be 9 years worth of albums. It's just incredible to see. So all of that pre-cap out of the way, let's dive into Ever Blossom, the final album here, This Wildlife. So we've got some hearts to give out here, funny enough. Last call for the heavy hearts. These hearts are going to be heavy, and we are calling for them absolutely here. And this is not going to be a clean sweep, but it's going to be pretty darn good. as you do. And there we go. So only a couple leaving here. I'm scared to lose you and through all the gloom, as well as what if I said that you didn't have to stay? They're all fine. And if someone can play the golden disclaimer here compared to the rest, they are just not quite as good in my opinion. But that still leaves us with quite a few options. 7 really good songs. Some disclaimers for these guys. Last Call for the Heavy Hearts is perfectly catchy. I love the lyrics here. Then When We Leave This Place, We Leave Alone is just a pretty little song. For the next one, we got Nothing Hurts Like Love for the First Time. It's sad, it's broken, it gets me every time. You Swore Your Love Would Burn. It writes itself. It's sweet from start to finish. As far as if it's cool with you, I'm cool with being through. This has got to be one of, if not the most groovy songs on their entire playlist. It is just from start to finish. If you look at your Spotify on your phone while it's playing, like, you know, that like 5 second clip that goes over and over, they're just roller skating. So I imagine the music videos, they're just having a ton of fun with this one. It is hilarious and groovy, and I love it. Then we have I Don't Love You Like I Want To, and it's soft, it's slow, it's sweet. You got that triple threat going for you. And then lastly, we have Still Wondering Why You Left Me Behind, and that is just another pretty little song. So, as far as the final top 3 with this album, I think right here, Still Wondering Why You Left Behind is just really good, and it just comes in on a clean 3rd place, but that leaves the top 2, and it is a complete toss-up between Nothing Hurts Like Love for the First Time and You Swore Your Love Would Burn. Just both amazing songs, and again, unskippable. Usually if they're in the top 3 of an album, it is incredibly difficult for me to skip if I'm working, if I'm just hanging out at home and the song comes on, it's just over. It's absolutely over. So this is the video. This was This Wildlife, an acoustic rock duo from Long Beach, California. Have you heard of them before? Do you like any of their songs? Do you dislike any of their songs? What's the deal? What's going on there? As far as recommendations for other bands, maybe your favorite band, you want to recommend it, and we can go through the Spotify on that and see what's what. I'd love to do that. And you're like, I hope he likes X, Y, and Z. And then I'm like, I actually really didn't like these. And then I'll probably end up liking one that you didn't, or it just vice versa. And I think that would be hilarious. But I absolutely love music. I think alternative rock is basically my favorite, but any kind of music really, it's just fun to listen to, delve into, and of course, break down. So as always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you on the flip. Peace.